Hello, everyone. This is Emily with Gem Science, and today I have with me Samantha Bennet. Samantha is a writer, speaker, actor, teacher, and creativity productivity specialist. She's the author of the best-selling Get It Done: From Procrastination to Creative Genius in 15 Minutes a Day, which Seth Godin called an instant classic, essential reading for anyone who wants to make a ruckus. Which is awesome.
I'm so not over that. I'm so not over that. Like,
I would never be over that either.
I'm not over it.
Godin said that about my book. That's amazing.
Amazing.
Her latest bestseller is Start Right Where You Are: How Little Changes Can Make a Big Difference for Overwhelmed Procrastinators, Frustrated Overachievers, and Recovering Perfectionists. She's an award-winning marketing expert. She spent 15 years as a personal branding specialist for Sam Christensen Studios, and she's also been honored as an Ultimate Marketer finalist at InfusionCon. She's an Infusionsoft certified consultant and reseller. And Sam, thank you so much for being here. We're thrilled to have you.
Oh, I'm delighted, Emily. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So just to start with, can you tell me a little bit more about what you do and who you typically help?
Yeah, so I write books, I speak, do keynotes, and then I teach classes online based around the books. There's Get It Done and Start Right Where You Are both classes. But really what they are is inquiry. Like, it's a lot of questions, it's a lot of exercises, because the fact of the matter is, whether you're a creative person, an entrepreneur, because all entrepreneurs are super creative, there's no right way to do something. There's no right way to build a business. There's no right way to be a parent. There's no right way to own a gym. There's just your way.
Yep.
Right? And the more you can lean into your natural creative rhythm, to your own intuition, to your own unique way of doing things, the happier and more productive and more successful you're going to be.
Yep.
So that's what I do, is I try to help people tap into their own way of doing things.
That's amazing. So, while I would certainly agree with you, there is no one right way of doing things. I think we all see a lot of common stumbling blocks on the road to trying to get where we're trying to go. One of which is procrastination, which is a big one that you deal with, correct?
All the time.
Okay. So, can you tell me a little bit more about what are some of the problems or issues that people are dealing with when they come to you for help?
Yeah, so some procrastination is real. Like, there's something big that feels scary, that feels like it's going to change your life, that maybe involves some more visibility than you're used to, or stepping up and playing a bigger game. And, whenever you're about to do something that's going to change your life, you get a little like, maybe I should do that so we start getting like getting ready to get ready syndrome.
Yep.
Like, oh, I know I need a website, but that means I need a new picture, which means I need to lose 10 pounds, which means I need to find no, just get the website up. So sometimes it's that, but more often procrastination is a big word, and it covers a lot of different behaviors. Sometimes people tell me they're procrastinating, and what they really mean is their project is too big.
Yeah.
They've got a big, vivid dream with a lot of moving parts. And, it's like saying, oh, I want to redo the whole house. And like, you can see it and it's beautiful, but then you're immediately like, oh, like, where do I even start? Right. So to like chunk it out, like go with the time. What is the smallest possible step that you can take right now, that your hands and feet can touch right now? Right. Who could you call? What could you do? What action could you take right now to move you forward on that? So to chunk things out a little bit, I think really helps. Other times, like, have a little self-compassion. Sometimes you haven't moved forward on something because it just hasn't been the right time. Mm-hmm. There's that weird divine timing thing where like, it's going to happen, but it hasn't happened. And you're like, I don't know why I'm not doing this. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, because I was waiting for this Zoom technology to be present. Like, I couldn't have done this 3 years ago, or, oh, I was waiting to meet Emily. Thank goodness. Oh, I was waiting, like, I didn't know that's what I was waiting for. But all of a sudden now this element is here and it's making it all a lot easier.
And what about sometimes procrastinating on things because maybe they actually shouldn't even be on your to-do list to begin with?
Yeah, totally. A lot of times you're not doing something because you genuinely do not care. Like,
Yeah.
you are not interested. It's a big should. It's something you see everybody else doing. It's something your family tells you should do, or culturally, or like it's just kind of a conventional wisdom thing. And those things, absolutely, you have my express written consent to cross those things off your list.
So I definitely know for myself as a small business owner, because I think we all go through waves of getting stuck and unstuck and more stuck and less stuck, and times where I will feel very, very stuck. I feel like all of those different reasons for procrastinating are kind of jumbled in my head. There's
You get a procrastination Sunday.
right. Like there's the things that I'm not doing because I shouldn't be doing them. And they just realistically, I'm never going to get to it. There are the things that I'm not doing because I'm scared to do them, or I don't enjoy doing them, or I'm not doing them because the task is so big that I haven't quite thought through how to attack it. So
Right.
when all of those things are jumbled in your head, like what's the best strategy forward to get out of that?
Yeah, I actually have a little tool. I can just tell you guys about it, and you can do it on a blank piece of paper. I also have a PDF, a little free download if you guys want it. I'm happy to share that with you. But I'm a list maker,
Okay.
right? I make lists. My mother was a list maker. My grandmother was a list maker. I come from a long line of list makers. And but the thing about a list, I mean, it's great to get everything out of your head and onto a piece of paper. That's a big step. That's a helpful step. But then you just have this long undifferentiated list of like, oh God. So what I started doing, and I do this almost every day in my actual life, I've got my list of all the stuff I think I need to do. And then I put a couple of columns next to it. And the first one says time.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 columns. The first one says time. And then I just write down how much time I think this thing is going to take. And what's great about that is sometimes I've got this huge list. I'm like, oh, I'm tired before I even start. But then I do the time thing and I'm like, wait a minute. All of these things add up to like 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
Like I can knock this out and then go get my nails done. Like this is not that much, right?
That's the secret,
right?
Being able to get your nails done at the end.
Always give yourself a prize. You are the boss. You should get a prize. Reward yourself. You wouldn't expect a team member to work as hard as you do with no rest, no benefits, no nothing. Give yourself the afternoon off.
Yeah.
So that's some of it. Sometimes, and this goes to what we were talking about before, you've written something down and you couldn't possibly put a time to it. Write my book. How much time is that going to take? Like, you don't know, write the about the author page. Oh, okay. That you can assign a time to. So that's one way to know if your project's too big. If you can't even figure out how much time it would take,
Yeah.
check it out, make it smaller. So the first column is time. The second column is money, coming in or going out.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's so important to keep an eye on that, right? And especially, my people are mostly would self-define as creatives. Mm-hmm. We're sort of habitually not that interested in money. Or not interested, just not super motivated by it.
Yes.
So there's always that thing of like, oh, invoice so-and-so for $500. Ugh, invoicing, what a drag. I'll do it tomorrow. It's like, no, it's $500. Let's do that today. Let's do that first.
Yeah.
Let's earn $500, work for 3 hours, and then go get our nails done. Let's do that. Right?
And actually, if I can interject, I think the flip side of that for like us as small business owners is if you've got a task on your list that is like a $10 administrative task and you're starting to think about delegating, like, okay, this is an easy thing that I can pass off to someone that wouldn't cost me a lot to get off my plate.
Exactly.
Exactly. I love that idea of kind of bringing the money piece into it.
Yeah. So it's time, money, and if it's not money for you, like just return on investment. Like, what do I expect to get back from this thing? Right. And some things we just do because we love them and we don't care, but not everything in your list should be like that. There should be some return on investment. Right. And then the final column is inclination. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you feel like doing that thing today? Mm-hmm. And not the result. I know you want the result of the thing. Of course you do. It wouldn't be on your list otherwise. But how much do you actually feel like doing that thing? And this is where it gets really interesting, because sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's a 10. Like I really, like that really corresponds with my value system. It sounds interesting to me. Like it reignites my desire, right? Yeah. Sometimes we get a little numb to ourselves. But when I ask the question, how much, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do I want to do this? I'm like, oh, super a lot. Like, great, let's do it. Sometimes like everything on the list is a 2.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I'm tired.
Yep.
So my real step is to go take a nap.
That is gold, because obviously, like, even creating the self-awareness to know, oh, I'm tired, and my action step is to take a nap. But I think the other thing that's really amazing about what you said there is that can give you the ability to completely reframe the way you feel about the work you have to do, right? Like all of a sudden the work that you're doing is a choice based on what do I feel like doing right now versus these are all things hanging over my head that I have to do. Right. Exactly. Like we used to say when I was a camp counselor, you don't have to, you get to. Exactly. And it's a great point of inquiry for yourself, right? So if you've got, you want to write a book, and so you've got it down to about the author page and it's still a 2, like, okay, so what is it that I'm not motivated about? Yeah. Is it, do I just not like writing? Well, could you dictate it? Could you hire a ghostwriter? There's a million ways to solve the problem, right? Yeah. If you really want the result. Yep. And if you're approaching it with that abundant mindset of, I do have all of these strategies or tools versus I just have this massive never-ending list of things that I have to do that's like crushing me, right? Yeah. Sometimes I'll add another column too, or make a little note on something. It's like, is this something that someone else is expecting from me or of me, or like it has an external deadline? Or is this just something that I think I should be doing that really only I care about and only I'm going to notice if it's not done? Yeah. Because I noticed that especially early on in my entrepreneurial career that I would put a ton of pressure on myself. Yeah. For something that like nobody knew, nobody else cared. Yeah. Like I have to get the font on this printout exactly right. I was like, maybe you could just dial down the stress level for a second. Like give yourself an extra couple of days, right? So time, money, inclination. That's amazing. That's such a great, like simple, concrete thing that people can start implementing immediately. And also, can you talk a little bit to, I know when we were talking before the call, you were speaking about kind of the unique challenges that fitness business owners and people who are trying to help people with life change are encountering. Can you speak to that a little bit? Yeah, I think fitness, people in the fitness profession, health profession, and even those of us in personal development, in the larger world of personal development, when you are offering something to someone that is genuinely going to change their life, it's hard. It's a tough sell. It's a tough sell because as much as people talk about wanting to change their life, right? Oh, I wish I could lose this 20 pounds. Oh, I wish I was more fit. Oh, I wish but they don't really want to change, right? And we can tell because they're not doing anything. And because they make every excuse. And so you said that you had come up with just a very great singular question. Oh yeah. That's true. Yeah. So this is what I do sometimes when I'm getting that feeling that somebody's a really good match. Because honestly, some people are so in love with their excuses. You just have to go, great, walk your path. I'm here when you're ready. Yep. Via con Dios. Like I can't want it for them more than they want it for themselves. Yeah. Right. Absolutely. And we're really only looking for ideal clients. Mm-hmm. Those people who are super motivated. I have a coach friend who put something on Facebook that I loved. She was like, if you're looking for accountability, go somewhere else, because that's a grown-up word for babysitting, and that's not what I do. I want the people who are jumping off the couch to work with me, and if you are not that person, get out of my sight. Yeah. Oh.
Well, that's good. Like, it's true. We want and we all have those clients, those ones who are jumping off the couch, right?
Yeah.
And they're great. So like, just look for them.
Yeah. They're so much fun to work with.
They're so much fun to work with. They get so much out of it, and they pay on time, and they love you, and they tell all their friends. It's great. But while you're in that having that sales conversation or that inquiry about, is this really a good fit for both of us? Because that's what you're looking for. I always agree with whatever their excuses are, because it's true. It's a hassle. Yes, it's expensive. Yes, you're going to have to buy new shoes. Yes, sure. All that's true. And then I say, so given all that, what one result would you need to see in order to make this whole thing totally worthwhile for you?
And then let them sell themselves.
And then they sell themselves. They go, oh, well, I guess, and they usually name something like really self-evident, like, well, I guess if I, was just, coming to the gym 3 times a week, that would, if I did that just even for a week, that would feel great. You're like, I think we could probably do that.
We can maybe make that happen.
I think we could maybe make that happen.
Yeah, that is such a great, powerful, singular question, just to get them to kind of own the fact that maybe they're making some excuses. So,
well, exactly. I'll also say, as someone who I worked out really hard for a really long time and had a real love-hate relationship with it, like a lot of people do, right? And then I had a period of time that, for a lot of reasons, I wasn't working out at all, and I really wanted to get back into it, but I wasn't. I noticed myself having this desire, and I noticed myself not doing anything about it. Interesting.
Fascinating a little bit.
Well, this is it. So I'm like dwelling in inquiry, like what's really going, and I was really hard on myself about it.
Yeah.
Right? What is wrong with me? Why didn't you get off just go for a walk? Go for a walk. What's the matter with you? Go for a walk. Right. That's super helpful too when you're yelling at yourself like that. That feels great. That's fun for me and everyone around me. Yeah. Okay. So finally I just thought, okay, let me reposition this in my mind. And what I did was, and this is great for those things you're procrastinating on, is to go, I just put myself in a state of happy anticipation. I wonder what will happen that's going to make me want to work out again. I can't wait. I'm sure it's coming any day now. That thing will arrive that's going to make me go, oh, I would love to do that. And then I can't wait. I wonder when it's coming.
And it came.
It did, actually. It did. I started doing CrossFit.
You started doing CrossFit.
I started doing CrossFit, and I'm terrible at it. And it's so hard. And I love it so much.
And you have a huge smile on your face.
I do. And because I get to feel like a complete badass because I do CrossFit.
Sam, that is so awesome. And I love the parallel and the corollary, just like you said, whatever that big hurdle or that big mountain is that you're trying to climb, shifting yourself from, because our default as humans is to go straight to beating ourselves up, right?
Right.
But that again is pure gold as far as just shifting your mindset, taking the pressure off to get it done and to get started, even though, as we talked about earlier, sometimes it is about just identifying the first step and just getting started. But I definitely think there are areas of life where you can just shift your attitude, get excited about the end result, and use that to propel you.
Yeah, and really put down the whip. God. People are so hard on themselves.
Yeah.
And it's not helping.
We are all very talented at that. That's for sure. Well, Sam, thank you so much. This has been awesome. Before we wrap up, are there any free resources that you have that you can direct people to if they want to learn a little bit more about how to kill their procrastination habit?
Yeah, I've got 2 that I can think of. One is if you go to startrightwhereyouare.com.
Okay.
The opt-in there is for the Procrastination Domination Starter Kit.
Excellent.
And that's a really fun little exercise to help you sort of get clear on what projects are really right for you right now. The other thing I have, though, is that PDF of the time, money, inclination thing if you want something printed out. And if you go to theorganizedartistcompany.com/clear choices.
Okay.
It's theorganizedartistcompany.com because I all the way spelled out.
And we can put some links below too to these.
Really? Like things I would do differently if I was starting my business over. No need to spell out company, but I didn't know that then. Slash clear choices. Yeah. And that's just an option for the PDF. And then that'll put you on my email list, and, you know, you can write me back and tell me about your projects, and we'll be pen pals and best friends. It'll be great.
That sounds fabulous. So any parting words of wisdom before we wrap up?
Just the work that only you can do, you must do.
Mm-hmm.
And the work that somebody else can do, someone else must do, right? You have a zone of genius. You have a thing that you're great at, and the world needs it, right? It's your gift. It's your gift to the world. The world is ready and craving it. Those people, those ideal people, are right there waiting. And if you're spending your time scrubbing the tile grout or beating yourself up or doing things that aren't really moving the needle, you're squandering your gift.
Yeah.
Right. So we're here for like a minute. And the world needs you. The world needs your message and your art and your wisdom and your help.
That's fantastic, Sam. Thank you so much for your time today.
My pleasure.
And, let's go out and get some stuff done.
Get it.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.